Hi everyone, it's Chipo here, and welcome to episode 7 of the Elephants in the Room series. Over the past few weeks, I've received some amazing feedback and questions, and a few of you have asked me to revisit the essence of this series to discuss what it's really about, who I am, and why I'm so passionate about this series. So, today, I'm going to take some time to reintroduce the elephants in the room. So, what is the elephants in the room? This series is dedicated to addressing those unspoken, often overlooked issues in the workplace that everybody is aware of, but very few are willing to openly discuss. The elephants are challenges that persist in the shadows, influencing workplace dynamics, employee well being, and organizational culture. My goal with this series is not just to highlight these issues, but to bring them to light and to have honest, meaningful conversations that lead to an actionable change. We're not just here scratching the surface. We are digging deep to understand the roots of these problems and to find sustainable solutions for all. The elephants in the room is more than just a discussion. It's a movement towards creating workplaces where transparency, equity, and fairness are the norms, not just the exceptions. These elephants or unspoken issues are often deeply embedded in the organizational culture, sometimes so much so that they become accepted as the normal silent issues, or let's leave it as is, or these are unavoidable issues. Yet, these elephants are the very things that prevent true progress, innovation, and satisfaction within the workplace. By bringing these topics to the forefront, we aim to challenge the status quo and encourage organizations to rethink how they operate. The series is also about empowering employees to voice their concerns and give leaders the tools to address these issues head on. We know that when these elephants are ignored, they grow larger and more difficult to manage, leading to toxic environments that stifle growth and perpetuate inequality in the workplace. Moreover, addressing these issues is not just about making workplaces better, it's also about aligning with the greater purpose. There is a moral imperative to tackle these challenges because they really do affect real people and real lives. People spend a significant portion of their lives at work, and the conditions they work under profoundly impacts their mental, physical, financial, relational, and emotional well-being. When we address these elephants, we contribute to the well being of individuals and the broader society. A workplace that is fair, just, and equitable can serve as a foundation for broader societal change, fostering communities where fairness and respect are valued. But beyond these practical reasons, I also believe that there is a deeper spiritual significance to this series. As a person of faith, I believe that these issues matter greatly to God. They touch on the core principles that are at the heart of His character and His will for humanity. Addressing these elephants in the room is not just about improving our workplaces, it's about aligning with God's desire for justice, compassion, and equality in all aspects of life. There are numerous reasons why issues are so important to God and why we must shine a light on them. My top 10 are: 1. Justice. 2. Compassion. 3. Equality. 4. Dignity. 5. Truth. 6. Integrity. 7. Peace. 8. Unity. 9. Empowerment. And lastly, accountability. Many of these issues that we are tackling in this series, like inequality, discrimination, and unethical practices, go against the very principles that faith and humanity has laid out for how we should treat one another. We need to abide by the simple principles to respect our neighbors as ourselves, to seek justice, and to act with integrity. When these principles are absent from our workplaces, it's not just a failure on the human level, it's at a spiritual level as well. So, aligning our work environment with the basic human principles means creating spaces where everybody is treated with dignity and respect, where there is no favoritism and every individual has the opportunity to thrive. It's about more than just following rules, it's about fostering a culture that reflects equality and justice. It is everybody's duty to seek justice, to show compassion and promote equality, and to live with integrity. In the workplace, this means treating every individual with dignity and respect, fostering transparent and ethical business practices, and creating an environment where everybody has that opportunity to thrive. I'm repeating it again. So we want to bring in moral principles and in the workplace. So because we spend much of our time at work, we want to create positive, productive work environments for everybody. So someone asked me, who is this series for? It's for anybody, really. Anybody navigating the complexities of modern workplace. Whether you're a job seeker, a seasoned professional, an entrepreneur, or an HR professional, it's for those who have experienced the frustration of inequality, the sting of unfair practices, or the exhaustion of navigating a system that often seems stacked against them. But it's also for those in positions of power and influence. We're talking about leaders, managers, and policymakers who are committed to creating better workplaces. This series is a resource, a support system, and a catalyst for change. By addressing these elephants in the room, we aim to empower everybody to advocate for and contribute to a more inclusive, transparent, and equitable workplace environment. I've also created a light framework, LIGHT, which means lifting invisible grievances, highlighting truths. This framework serves as a foundation of the Elephants in the Room series. The series aims to bring to the forefront unspoken issues within workplaces that hinder progress and well being. When we address these issues, we then align our workplaces with values such as justice, equality, and integrity, ultimately contributing to a fairer, more compassionate society. Throughout this series, we aim to shine the light on hidden challenges that need to be addressed to create workplaces where everybody can thrive. Do you feel sometimes left in the dark? This series is for you. It's for the employee who's been passed over for promotion despite their hard work and dedication. It's for the woman who's been paid less than her male counterpart for the same job. It's for the individual who faces discrimination because of their race, their age, or their gender. It's for the leaders who want to do better but do not know where to start. By shining a light on these elephants or issues, we want to give a voice to those who have been marginalized and provide a platform for change. But it's not just for the marginalized, it's for everybody who cares about creating a better, more just, fair, moral, and ethical and equitable world. Whether you're a CEO, an HR professional, a manager, a colleague, you all have a role to play in addressing these elephants. This series is about equipping us with the knowledge, tools, and insights that we need to make a difference. In every episode, we'll explore not only the problems, but also the solutions so that together we can create workplaces where everybody thrives. In today's world, the importance of these conversations should not be overstated. The workplace is where many of us spend the majority of our time, and the experiences that we have at work shapes our lives in profound ways. By addressing these elephants in the room, we're not just making workplaces better, we're making the world better. We're creating environments where people are valued, where fairness is the standard, and where everybody has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Then I've been asked the question, who are you? Well, I'm Chipo Nyandurakundri, and I'm your host for this journey. My passion for this series stems from both personal experience and my professional journey. Over the years, I've encountered numerous stories from colleagues, clients, and friends that reflect the deep rooted issues, and we will be discussing these in the series. There are stories of frustration, of hitting invisible glass ceilings, of feeling undervalued and being overlooked. My background as a business coach, consultant, and a leadership expert has given me a unique perspective on these challenges. I've seen how these elephants can hold people back. I've seen how it creates toxic environments and stifles potential. But I've also seen the incredible transformations that can occur when these issues are addressed head on. That's why I'm here, to help guide these conversations, to challenge the status quo, and to advocate for workplaces where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. My own journey has been shaped by these experiences. I've worked in environments where there was micromanagement, lack of career progression, gender pay disparity, racial bias, inequality and injustice, where these were the norm. But I've seen the toll it took on me and other individuals and teams. I've also had the privilege of working with organizations that are committed to doing better. I've seen the positive impact that it's had on my life and other people's lives. This series is an extension of that. It's we want to make sure that what doesn't fit fits. What can we do? What should we not do? It's about taking the lessons we've learned and others have learned and just sharing them with a broader audience. It's about creating a space where we have honest, challenging conversations where we can find the solutions together. Throughout my work as a coach and a consultant, and also as an independent executive director of the John Maxwell team, I've also had the opportunity to work with people from all walks of life, from entry level employees to top executives. What I have learned is that these issues are universal. No matter where you are in your career or in what industry or country you're in, you have likely to have encountered some of these elephants. My goal with this series is to bring these issues to light, to provide practical tools and strategies for addressing them and creating a community of people who are committed to making a difference. This series is simply a labor of love, justice, equality, and morals. It's about more than just discussing problems, it's about finding solutions. It's about empowering people to take action, to stand up for what's right, to create workplaces that are fair, just, and equitable. It's about creating a movement that challenges the status quo and advocates for change. We've actually launched this series 6 weeks ago, and over the past 6 weeks, we've covered some critical topics, beginning with salary, transparency, and gender inequality. We've delved into what these issues are, why they matter, and how they impact us all. Salary transparency, for example, is about more than just knowing what everyone makes. It's about fostering trust, reducing wage gaps, and creating a culture of openness. Gender inequality, on the other hand, is a pervasive issue that affects everything from pay equity to career advancement opportunities. We've discussed the global relevance of these topics, the sociological and psychological effects they have on individuals and organizations, and we've also shared real stories alongside actionable solutions. But this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. In our discussion on salary transparency, for example, we explored how hidden pay structures can perpetuate inequality and erode trust within organizations. We talked about the importance of making salary information accessible to all employees and how doing so can lead to a more equitable compensation practice. We also looked at the broader societal implications of salary transparency, including its potential to reduce wage gaps and promote economic fairness. By addressing salary transparency, we're not just improving individual workplaces, we're contributing to a larger movement towards economic justice. Gender inequality is another elephant that we've been tackling head on this month. We've discussed how gender biases can manifest in everything from hiring practices to promotion decisions, and how these biases can limit opportunities for women and gender minorities. We've also looked at the impact of gender inequality on mental health, job satisfaction, and overall well being. By addressing gender inequality, we're not just advocating for women's rights, we're advocating for a fairer, more inclusive society where everybody has the opportunity to succeed. So, as we move forward, we'll continue to build on these discussions. We'll explore how these issues intersect with one another, with each other in the workplace. We'll be diving deeper into the connections between salary transparency and gender inequality, and also addressing how these issues together can lead to a more comprehensive solutions that we can bring up. We'll also be expanding our focus to include other critical topics that impact the workplace around and all around the world. But there's so much more to come. In the next few weeks and over the next few months, we'll be diving deeper, as I said, into the salary transparency and the gender inequality agenda. We're exploring how these issues are intricately linked and what that means for the future of work. Understanding this connection is crucial because it helps us to see the bigger picture of workplace equality. It's not enough just to address these issues in isolation. We need to understand how they intersect and reinforce each other. But that's not all. There's so many more critical topics that we'll be discussing in this series. And I believe each one plays a vital role in creating a healthier, more equitable work environment. For example, over the next few months, we'll be exploring the impact of unconscious bias in hiring and how these biases can prevent organizations from building diverse, inclusive teams. We'll also be looking at the glass ceiling effect and how invisible barriers can prevent women and minorities from reaching the highest levels of leadership. These issues are not just about fairness, they're about maximizing the potential of all employees in an organization and creating organizations that are more innovative and effective. We'll also be discussing the challenges of work life balance, especially in a world where the lines between work and personal life are increasingly blurred. We'll talk about the rise of burnout and mental health issues and what organizations can do to support their employees' well being. These topics are especially relevant in today's fast paced, high pressured work environment, where demands on employees can often feel very overwhelming. Finally, we'll be addressing the importance of ethical leadership and corporate social responsibility. We'll explore how leaders can set the tone for a positive workplace culture and how organizations can act ethically and responsibly in their communities. These topics are not just about doing what's right, they're about building organizations that are sustainable, successful, and respected by employees, customers, and society at large. There's a few more topics we'll be looking at. We'll look at unconscious bias in hiring. We'll look at racial inequality in the workplace. We'll look at the glass ceiling effect. We'll look at work life balance challenges. As I said, we'll look at burnout and mental health. We'll look at the impact of remote work. We'll look at age discrimination. We will look at nepotism and favoritism. We'll look at sexual harassment policies. We'll look at LGBTQ inclusion. We'll look at ethical leadership, overlooked promotions, the role of HR in modern workplaces, corporate social responsibility, the future of work and technology, diversity and inclusion initiatives, employee well-being programs, and the role of mentorship. And also, we'll look at navigating office politics, transparency, and performance reviews. We'll also take a good look at those in a few months. So, these are just some of the topics that we'll be covering, and each one is crucial to creating workplaces where everybody can thrive. Next week, we're going to take an even closer look at how salary transparency and gender inequality intersect and what that means for us all. It's going to be an eye opening discussion, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I'm excited to share this journey with you, and I encourage you to stay engaged. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been with us from the beginning, there's something here for everybody. Let's work together to shine a light on those elephants in the room and create the change that we want to see in our workplaces and in our world. So, whether you've been with me from the beginning or you're just joining the conversation, you're just joining the movement, you are welcome. This series is for you. Let's continue to shine a light on those elephants in the room, and together, let's create the change that we want to see in the workplace. Don't forget to follow this LinkedIn page and share your thoughts with me in the comments. And if you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, please reach out to me below. I'll see you next week. It's bye for now.